So we're up here on the east side, East 78th Street, and we stopped at this little brownstone because it illustrates well the problems with brownstone. This clastic, land-derived sedimentary rock made of sandstone, and look how it is weathering away. The stone is not holding up to the trials of time very well. And this building actually looks pretty desolate. So if you move closer, you can actually see the layers that were laid down that became the sand, that is the sandstone. And here you see this column completely falling to bits. Water gets in. You get freezing and thawing in the winter, which probably undermines it. And then you get hydration just over the whole course of the year, with the clay minerals being dissolved, washed away, and the rock falling to pieces. Weathering of famous New York brownstone. Well, we're outside the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and I thought I'd just stop and look at this sculpture because it's of a stone that you're familiar with. Dark, fine-grained, extrusive, igneous rock. Not the base, but just the sculpture itself. It's mafic, so it's dark. It's extrusive and it's fine-grained. And if we pan down, it tells us, though you can't see it, that it's black basalt. And I don't know what kind of the stone the base is. If I could get in there, I would look, but the Met's kind of closed. So, Isamu Noguchi, great sculptor, Japanese-American. And this is one of a couple of pieces set here at the Metropolitan, made out of beautiful stone. I think the other one is also basalt. You can go in to the Japanese wing of the Met and see it. And then if you go over to Long Island City, I believe there's a Noguchi museum there. So he's worth looking at. And we're on, I don't know, 80th Street. And I thought you should take a look at this marble townhouse. And I mentioned this feature of marble that when I was talking about Inwood marble in the metamorphic slideshow, which is that you get these impurities in the calcite as metamorphosed from the limestone, and the impurities make these lovely patterns, which when the marble is polished, people really like. So here's a marble faced townhouse with a little bit of weathering on this balcony, and it seems like the base is slightly discolored, the marble down at the bottom in relation to the top, and then a very thin, what looks like a granite apron at the bottom, and a couple of nice, this first step, I like the shape of it. So all in all, pretty little townhouse if you got the money. This is the parish house of St. Ignatius Loyola Church at East 84th Street. We're on Park Avenue, and I want to stop here because this is an unusual building stone that you don't usually see cut with such precision. This is a schist. I don't know that it's Manhattan schist. It may well not be, but it is a schist, a metamorphic rock. And if we get even a little closer, we can see some of the features that make it metamorphic. We can see probably some mineral alignment right here, actually, the way the minerals have been aligned vertically. And if we get close enough, we can see that there's some little bits of garnet in here where my finger is. And this is aligned again, it looks more or less vertically. It's just the way they oriented the stone. This though has a more horizontal alignment, and with lots of little pieces of garnet in it and mica, and perhaps some minerals that we haven't really talked about. I think kyanite is a mineral that could be in this rock. Silamanite. Oh, here's very nice bedding and foliation of the schist. So an unusual, usually finely cut schist, although that block over the door here is granite, and where they have the name is granite. So this top piece, which has a special name over the door, was made out of a more formidable and easier to cut stone. But everything else looks metamorphic and schistosis, like a schist. There's a special word, but I can't pronounce it. A lot of features here that you don't normally see. Decorative cutting on a schist, like these patterns over the window. So, metamorphic rock, parish house, St. Ignatius Loyola. So, 87th Street on the east side, and we're at the Park Avenue Synagogue. And we're looking at a very ornately carved doorway with a kind of a yellowish stone. And then if we look further down the block, we see an addition to the synagogue that's a similar stone but less weathered. So let's move in and see what we have here. From my eye, looks like a sandstone. We can see right in here some individual grains of sand very clearly. So this is a sandstone cut out of the earth and carved on the base of granite. And if we look at the larger blocks, we can see some layering here where the sand was deposited. Bedding planes. We're even getting fairly large, almost, well, pebbles in here. You can see the pebbles that were deposited. And then again, more bedding planes. And if we move just a little bit down the road, we see the newer stone, which is also a sandstone, I believe, but it's been polished. And it's a much finer grained sand, which we can maybe see in here. Much finer grained than the old stone, which here we really see the coarse grained sandstone that is weathering in some cases more than others. Sometimes you see these little bits of white, which is where the calcite is leaching out the cement. And this Park Avenue Synagogue. You know, I came over onto Madison looking still at the Park Avenue Synagogue extension here, and it's just to show you how modern buildings are often a shell of what you think they are. Here's the sandstone. That's just a thin block, now been replaced by plywood because something happened to this piece of stone. Each individual stone is just hanging off, in this case, cinder block, which is probably connected to a steel frame. And then here, very thin pieces. This is the stone here, very thin. So it deceives you into thinking that it's a formidable pile of stones, but in fact, it's just a thin veneer over a frame of steel, cinder block, cement. All right, so this is what I was just talking about. Here's a new building, right? And you see there's a frame here in this case, of concrete with rebar, steel bars embedded in the concrete, and then cinder block to square off where the windows will be, and then they can hang stone on it, and it'll look like it's been there for centuries, but it hasn't.